14 years of experience and still not confident in interviews. Sounds surprising, right? Well, this was the story of one of our alumni, Jyotsana, who comes from a BCA background and has been working in the industry for over a decade. But when it came to switching into senior engineering roles, she realized something was missing. No strong foundation in DSA, lack of confidence in system design rounds, and a feeling that her learning wasn't aligned with what companies expect today. So, what changed? How did she go from that to becoming interview ready again? In this conversation, she shares how right structure, mentorship, and consistency helped her turn things around. So, come, let's hear her story. So, hi Jyotsana, welcome. Let's start with your introduction first.
I have around 14 years of experience in the IT industry. I started off as an intern in Hewlett Packard. Uh, I worked there for 6 months in the Java stack, and then I got into a software developer role. Around 7 years, I worked there in HP, and then I moved to OpenText, and I had around 1 year of experience there. I worked for a year in
Okay.
Selenium and again Java tech stack. Then I moved to McAfee I was working as for a content development team there. Yeah, and I was working for their portal called docs.mcafee.com as a software engineer and then I moved on to Trellix with the front end role for Angular and React. So this has been my experience so far.
So, Jyotsna, what were those challenges you were facing in your career that you decided to upskill yourself?
So when I want to switch from my first company HP to a front end role, I saw that I did not know how the interview experience would be. Then I saw that everywhere they ask me DSA questions, and that's the first thing that I have to clear. So, and I wasn't that good at it because I come from BC and MCA background, and we did not have a data structures as a main subject. And I came across Bosscoder, and I thought that would be a good start for me to learn things in a very organized and structured way. Because if I had to learn it on my own, maybe I would just go randomly learning different topics. And here I thought, okay, there's a structure. And I also spoke to a couple of your folks, and I got to know that the syllabus I got to know, and how to crack interviews. So that's something. Also, one more thing I want to add here is, even if I would clear some maybe simple DSA questions, right, and then I would go to HLD rounds. I would screw it up there because I did not know most of the concepts in HLD. So in our day-to-day, while we work, we don't work on all the things, right? Like all the concepts we don't learn, right? Be it caching or be it, how the middleware works and all of that, right? Like API works, for example. So I did not know all those things, database sharding and all of that. So that is where, and I went through your syllabus, and that's when I got to know that okay, all these topics are also covered. Because in the past, I had screwed up my interviews because of HLD rounds. So yeah.
Okay.
Those are my challenges.
So, Jyotsna, moving ahead, I want to know your experience, like your overall experience at Bosscoder Academy. What did you like the most about us?
So I had a good mentor, and that also helped me a lot. Like I understood how to crack interviews from the mentor, and what is it that they actually see in it's not just clearing DSA or HLD or whatever, right? How you need to be in an organization and how you need to perform well, right? And the challenges that you face within a team. So those things I learned it from my mentor at Bosscoder. And apart from that, I think whenever I attended the live classes, I was always told that practice every day for at least 2 hours, at least 2 questions you have to practice. So that helped me maintain consistency, build consistency, in fact, and that's something that I follow even now. So that's something that really helped me in Bosscoder.
So, when you sat for an interview, how was your experience different from the interviews you gave before joining us?
I think when I started attending interviews after that, right, questions became very familiar to me. So it was very easy for me to crack. And previously, I would, before joining Bosscoder, I think I used to not write a crisp and clear code, like I never thought of how to write code in an optimized way. So joining Bosscoder, I got to know that how to write code in an optimized way, how to crack those interviews, and also write it in a very less time frame. So I started managing my time while answering while practicing only. So I
Okay.
think one thing you all always stressed upon was time management while answering, while practicing questions, right? So that's something that I kept in mind, and this helped me a lot while answering.
So, any tips, any advice for working professionals who are looking to upskill themselves?
I would say start with your DSA first, and
Okay.
don't jump over all the
Mm.
topics.
Mm.
Train yourself for at least, maybe say for stacks, for example, for the next 3-4 days. Be thorough with that, and then jump onto queues, and then also come back and practice the previous sessions, like previous topics that you have done. And also for the ones joining Bosscode, I would say keep revisiting your live class that were uploaded. Keep revisiting those. That would really help you to clear your interviews. So this is one advice I have.
So, yeah, that was Jyotsna's story. And I think what really stands out here is experience alone doesn't guarantee growth. Even after 10 plus years, you can still feel gaps in fundamentals, confidence, or interview readiness. And that's completely okay. What actually matters is recognizing those gaps and working on them with the right structure and guidance. So, if you want to upskill and transition in a similar way, then you can check out Bosscoder's program in the description below. And for more such honest stories, press like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.